So Undone watches do tons of very cool collaborations with not only artists, but pop culture icons and things like Batman and Popeye and a whole bunch of other really cool sort of icons in different rights. And this is Undone collaboration with Astro Boy. Astro Boy, a Japanese anime sort of classic icon as well. And it comes in really simple packaging, but the watch itself is very, very well done. And I'm going to get right into that in a second. Obviously, everything is embossed here. It's a tin, just has Astro Boy in profile here. And then, of course, there's Astro Boy, Undone, all embossed in sort of an aluminum tin that they've done in black. Inside, you're getting warranty information and then information on this specific watch. It's sort of a little diagram of the watch right there. You can see the watch looks very different right off the bat. The moment you see it, it definitely looks like something that you've not seen before. It has the Astro Boy colors, so you can see the red, the green, and then of course the entire watch is sort of a black color. What they've done is DLC coated the stainless steel case, and then they put a forged carbon fiber bezel on this watch. The forged carbon fiber bezel is a little bit loose. That's the first thing that you're going to notice. It is pretty loose. I don't think this is something that you would actually use for timing. However, what they've also included here is a 12-hour inner rotating bezel, which I think is very, very useful for tracking a second time zone. Obviously, this is a chronograph. You have a transparent dial. I think that's the next thing you're really going to notice about this watch. It has a grid pattern. That's all loomed. You have Astro Boy on the 9 o'clock sub-dial. That's also loomed. All the indices are loomed. The hands are loomed. That transparent dial allows you to see the movement inside. That is a VK63 by Seiko. So that means it is a meca-quartz movement. So you have a quartz movement with a chronograph module. So you do get a sweep second hand. As you can see, the chronograph hand there in red, just ticking along. All of the chronograph hands are in red, which look really good. And then it just says Astro Boy right there, Undone at the bottom of the dial. So they've actually put their logo at the bottom, Astro Boy at the top. I like that. Smooth operation of the chronograph. It is a flyback chronograph, as you can see. It's very, very smooth. Meca-quartz are great movements, especially if you want something that is very reliable, very accurate, and inexpensive. So usually they are not very, very expensive, and you do get a really good chronograph movement. I really like the indices. The indices are floating above that transparent portion of the dial. I'll do close-ups so you can see it. You have a date there between the 5 o'clock and the 4 o'clock position. Again, I always say this, I'm not a huge fan of the date. I think it looks okay here because it sort of blends in. You do get a little bit of a surround around it. It is color matched, so it doesn't really stand out very, very much. It is a very complicated looking dial, so it does add to that a little bit. And I kind of like that because you have a lot going on the dial. I think it looks good. You have to like that though. On the other side of the watch, which is really cool, you do get a transparent case back. Even though this is a quartz movement, they have put a transparent case back on it. Astro Boy again emblazoned on the back, but this time they have frosted the glass on the back, which I think is really cool. Screwed-in case back, and of course you do not have screwed-in crowns. I think you only get 50 meters of water resistance. You get sapphire crystal in the front. I'll do close-ups of the back so you can see that as well. Sapphire crystal, you do get AR coating, so you can see that the AR coating is working pretty well in my studio lights. Red crown at the 3 o'clock, green crown at the 10 o'clock, and that is for, of course, the Astro Boy colors. Now, the measurements on this watch, I've measured this a few times, and it depends on where you're measuring it and if you're catching one of the notches in the actual bezel, but I've gotten around 41.5 millimeters every time I've measured it. Actually pretty thin at 12.2 millimeters, and then the true lug to lug I believe was around 50 millimeters, but let me double check that. 47.6, so not a huge lug to lug. Crowns are actually sizable on here, and I believe they are, yeah, just about 7 millimeters, so 6.8 millimeters, which is really nice. The bracelet or strap on here is excellent as well. They've paid attention to the details on here as well. They've done a slotted sort of buckle on here. Very bespoke buckle, the same one that was on the Batman, really. But there is a lot of attention to detail, and it definitely matches the case on this watch. And then you're getting a nylon sort of Cordura strap, or I forget, is it Cordura? I think it's called Cordura strap. It's sort of a sailcloth sort of strap, or nylon cloth strap. It looks really good and feels really good, goes really nicely with this watch. So very quickly, let me throw it on my wrist, and we'll talk a little bit about price, and then we're going to do a lume shot, because the lume is actually pretty cool on here. Very quickly, today I am wearing Knot. This is the automatic time-only version on a Japanese denim strap. Very interesting strap on here. Not for everyone. However, it is very interesting. It's definitely an eye catcher and has some leather accents on there. Weird strap, very cool watch. So here it is. So you can see the strap is actually very nice and supple, I would call it, for a nylon strap. Usually those need a lot more of a break-in period. This does not, and it bends and fits to the wrist very nicely. So there you go. On my 7.5 inch wrist, you'll see that this wears like a 41 or more like a 42 millimeter, maybe even closer to a 42.5 millimeter, I would say. I have a 7.5 inch wrist. You do have a lot of crowns and pushers, so you have obviously the chronograph pushers, and then the crown, and then you have an extra crown for that inner rotating bezel. So it does add a little bit to the size of this watch, overall size of this watch. Price on this is $449. You're getting forged carbon fiber DLC case, inner rotating bezel. You're getting a really nice strap, nice packaging, see-through dial, see-through case back. It's not really a skeletonized watch, obviously, because it is a quartz. However, you're getting a pretty cool quartz watch that you can actually see the case back, and you can actually see the movement in the back. It's not the best movement to look at, but it looks pretty cool, especially since they frosted the glass. I really do like this. It looks very, very interesting. Something out of the ordinary. It's a very light watch, even though it's stainless steel. You do get that forged bezel, so that does weigh almost next to nothing. So that does save some weight. Very, very interesting setup on this watch. Really good looking. And $449, I think that's pretty good. I don't think this is a limited edition in any way. However, I may be wrong. I will definitely check the website and put a comment in the description below if I am wrong. However, let's do a lume shot, because a lume is really cool on here. And I think that it's actually a very special part of this watch. So very quickly, lume shot. Well, there you have it. You can see the lume is pretty cool on here. It is a whole grid pattern there, and then you have Astro Boy, the indices, the hands, all filled with lume. The part that is on the dial and that transparent portion of the dial is sort of in a green color. Then you get minty blue on the hands and indices. Very nice application of lume, especially on the hands and indices, on that grid portion. And the Astro Boy, obviously a little bit lighter application, probably will not hang on as long as the rest of the watch. Anyway, tell me what you guys think of this watch in the comments below. If you're a fan of Astro Boy, this is sort of a no-brainer. It's not only a good-looking watch, it's a really nicely made watch. It's a very interesting watch. Definitely a conversation starter. It looks a lot more expensive than it actually is. And then, of course, you're getting that meca-quartz chronograph, so you're getting that sweep second, transparent dial, transparent case back, carbon fiber, DLC coated, really nice strap and buckle, just all around a really nice package from Undone. Again, they do a lot of collaborations. They do a really good job at it. They really think through the watches and put a lot of attention to detail in them. The only complaint I have about the watch is this rotating bezel. I think it's not going to be useful because it's going to move on its own. So if you actually want to time something, you probably won't be able to do that with this bezel. It's there for looks, I guess, instead, because there's really not any markers on the bezel. There's just that red triangle, and that's it. Use the inner rotating bezel, that 12-hour bezel that you could use for timing a second time zone. That is secure and will work really well. Anyway, guys, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.